Welcome to my channel, and I'm Dave. Today I'm going to be looking at these Olmec heads of ancient civilization in central Mexico. How they were found, where they were found, a lot of anomalies and strange, I say strange, unexplained events and what the time frame of it might be. Completely just messed up and told to us in certain ways. We can find it right in our Wikipedia and Google if we're looking for it. A lot of people have, and I appreciate their... I'm just something here, but don't we all? We're on to something, we know it, but this here is with the Olmec heads, ancient civilization, Yucatán Peninsula. These heads were found. Why would you go ahead and carve stuff like this and then bury it? At a depth of approximately 5 meters, 3 times 5 is 15.2. You're gonna go 17 feet underground, but they were up to 30 feet under. They didn't bury these guys. There's no way they buried these amazing sculptures. So anyway. Alright, so right here we're going to go ahead and show you. This is the rim of the impact. What I propose, I believe I've got that already on a piece of video, but I'm going to say if this thing came in from this direction, it sent water and mud this way, this way, this way, up these mountains, washed it back off, and this is all shallow now because of it. There is a lost city a mile off of Cuba, supposedly. And I've got so many lost civilizations just wiped out through here. It's beyond belief. You could spend a lifetime looking at the crazy stuff. So let's just keep going here because this is drilling. Penfield is Pemex, which is a company, a oil field company, gasoline and oil in Mexico. He then obtained onshore gravity data from the 1940s. According to Penfield, the old data showed a large concentric set of onshore gravity anomalies. When I laid it next to my number 2 pencil mapping on the offshore magnetic anomalies, the fit was perfect. A shallow 180-kilometer diameter gravity magnetic bullseye on the almost non-magnetic uniform carbonate background of the Yucatan platform. We recognize the crater as likely Cretaceous Paleogene boundary event. A decade earlier, the same map suggested an impact feature. To contractor Robert Baltasar, but he was forbidden to publicize his conclusion by Pemex Corporation. Corporate policy of the time. Pemex disallowed release of the specific data, but let Penfield and Company officials Antonio Camargo present the results at the 81 Society Exploration Geophysics Conference. Alright, so they're covering up. The oil field wanted it, and you know, that's all there is to it. And Pemex wanted this, and right here there's a pier off the end. They say nothing's going on, and they're still drilling. This, the discovery of the first colossal heads that dress up what this is in 1862 by Jose Maria Melgar y Serrano was not well documented nor reported outside of Mexico. The excavation of the same colossal head by Matthew Serling, obviously not Hispanic, in 1938, which 74, I think, years later, they decided to dig this guy up, all right, which is really odd. Yeah, I doubt is there fossilized seashells in Austin, Texas. The reason why I ask is because the sea level there in Austin, I believe, is over 1,000 feet, and I think about Florida only being some of the place I live there, and Fort Myers and on the East Coast was only a couple feet right on the coast, but even at the highest point in Florida, it's only not that much. I'll have to look that up, but I'm going to go a couple hundred feet at the most. Geologists believe the conditions in the sea were similar to those in the Florida Keys. Okay, and they were similar, so was the water higher or the earth lower? In the early Cretaceous, 135 missing years in action, and parts of Austin were in the intertidal. Shallow conditions were ideal for wandering dinosaurs and development of algae and bacterial maps. So I'm gonna show you a picture of those in Georgetown, north of Austin, Texas. Rose Formation. Notice they say the most familiar, and when the sea swept into Texas. All right, what we have here is pictures in Wikipedia and Google of sledge marks or wagon marks from going through these creeks. And the problem with that is there's dinosaur tracks right next to them. And it's very strange. How would that mean there's 2 inundations of seawater, separate times, enough to harden the ground twice? What does this mean? And we got a 1,000-foot sea, elevation. That's a big surge, which makes sense if a crater hit, or a meteor hit. And immediately, as soon as you zoom in off of Google Earth, let's get over here. See all this land is this swamp. It's swamp. Let's move on in. Let's move in, right down to the water. Hang on. Right to the edge, because that's going to be wiped out. And right off the bat, tons of canals where no one lives and hasn't for a while. And of course, that would be, some incredible situations out here that wherever you look, it's been dug up and canaled somehow. Not somehow, but whole community gone. Nothing out here. And of course, by sinking and moving to higher ground. But just look how much of this, just the peninsula, is all old. Medicant Island. Let's go out here. What would be on here? Well, right off the bat, we see something perfectly straight looking like a canal. There's a canal here. Just so they can cross it, with boats, I imagine. Very interesting out on this cut through an island. This is cut through an island. That placement doesn't make any sense. It's lined and this makes no sense why they would do this and have roads and this is way out here. Let's take a look at how far out. That's in the swamp. South. All right, I guess, my point's made on this. This is all swamp way past, all the way up to here, it's swamp. Right, this here is about this impact zone and the incredible surge you can see here in the right hand side of what a hurricane looks like. I was 4 years old when Hurricane Celia hit, and they reported at least 65-mile-an-hour winds on a hurricane. And these hurricanes start from right about there off the tip. It's really strange how the ley lines hit right there as well. It's and many places where these fantastic storms hit or even get stronger and send to each other, and then they send over. And it's kind of strange also how some of these, if not most of these star forts are right there, and I've got a couple that are real close to this one. So there's a lot of questions that can be asked in so many avenues. I'm gonna end this chapter on Olmec Heads, but we're far from done with it. Next chapter is going to be on how the Mississippi River flowed backwards and the time frame, star forts, ley lines, and hurricanes, natural disasters.
Darwin's Arch, a famous rock formation off the Galapagos Islands, has collapsed due to erosion. Images distributed by Ecuadorian officials show only the two stone supporting columns remain. The formation is found in the northern part of the archipelago and is considered a premier diving location. It was named after English biologist Charles Darwin, whose study of the Galapagos Islands inspired his theory.